Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me okay? I don't know what happened there, but there was no music. And I'm not sure why, because there should be. So I'm just coming on to give you guys an update on the Victoria Taylor case. It won't be a massively long live. There's not a huge update, but I just wanted to come on and keep you guys posted. Apologies for the delay. I got waylaid in where I was, and then I changed the time. And then I was trying to sort my stuff out and realised on Safari, hi Unity calling, on Safari, it doesn't show. So I had to log in and reset everything on Google, on Chrome. So let's just start with showing this. I don't think there's any sound. I don't know if there is, but let's play it anyway. Why did that sound like Curtis Arnold? So
Who could ever forget Stacey Pibb? She was the young mum who lost so much in the Queensland flood.
okay, let's chop and change. Oh my god, these things happen so quick. Rightio, let's change the screen. So, as you can see there, there's not much going on with the media and getting interviews and stuff with the press. So I think the press are just grabbing what images and stuff that they can. They're obviously going around the village and filming the posters and stuff. And I know the volunteers are out there searching. And I know that the media have approached some volunteers to ask them for information or if they're searching and stuff. But obviously the family and friends have asked that they don't speak to the media, which is fair enough. So yesterday, some new information was put out. So this is a new CCTV image of Victoria. And this is a little bit later, not much later, but a bit later after she was seen in the shop. So police have released the new CCTV image of Victoria. We know she was last seen at home in Malton at around 9 o'clock in the morning, and this was last Monday. Obviously, we're now on Tuesday, so obviously time is of the essence, and her possessions, or some of the possessions that she had, were found by the River Derwent. Now, if you look here, you can see that in this image, she is wearing the cap. Obviously, her hair is underneath the cap. She's got that pink salmon Vans bag that they were talking of, and she's got some stuff here in her arms. But what that stuff is, don't know, can't see it that well. But you can see she's wearing the black jacket with the stripes down the side, not down the arms. Now, I have seen in the Facebook group that there has been questions of people putting information out there and starting to spread rumours about the partner being involved, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I'm not even sure where they're getting this information, because there's not much in the way of updates coming out. Literally, there's stuff coming out on North Yorkshire Police's website, and there's some stuff in the Facebook group, but not a whole bunch. And so, again, I think this is just going to go into one of those things, isn't it? Unfortunately, there's always going to be that element of it, but unfortunately, some of that is what causes momentum in sharing this information. So yesterday, I think off the back of people starting to accuse Victoria's partner that, sorry about the coughing in the background, everyone's collapsing around me with the germs, and I'm probably going to follow suit. But what was I saying? Because of obviously the accusations being thrown out there and the trolling, the police have come out and said that there is no suggestion of any third party involvement in Victoria's disappearance. Now, we know we saw her at 11:35 in that petrol station on Welham Road in the Norton area. There's no way. There's actually no way. Oh my God, my son is so loud. Sorry, guys. Hi, Anne. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to go and ask him to shush a second. Sorry about that, guys. Are they saying she didn't look ahead? I guess it's just the image that they've got that they're prepared to release. Hang on, let me go back. Because if you look at it, you've got, I mean, the one thing that I know about these cases is that when these things occur, they will show you what they want to show you. And it's not always the images that you think that you want to see, because we know with Constance Martin, when I followed that case, we got images that were awful. Like, you barely notice, you could barely recognize Constance, okay? but when the trial was over, we got the works. We saw everything, and there were some much better photos. But you got to remember, has this got this photo on here? We'll pull the other one up in a minute. But to be honest, we know what she looks like. Here she is. That's what she looks like. Obviously, again, they are being open-minded about what is going on, but it's a different. It's you know, her belongings have been found by the river. That's not a good sign of on its own. But they're not saying that their only working hypothesis is that she fell in the river, right? Because I think a lot of people are thinking from the Nicola Bulley case that everyone's so loud in my house. So loud. Is anyone else's house really loud? I think I need to lock myself in a shed and pad it out. Hang on, let me shut the door. Oh my God, after that I've got no hope. Oh God. After that, the room's not soundproof. There's no soundproof in the rest of this house. I need to get some of those puffy things, the foamy things that YouTubers or whatever they use to soundproof their room. Or when I move, if I get round to moving, I think I'm gonna put myself outside in a shed and soundproof the whole thing, and then be on my own. So they're not. I think they've learned from the Nicola Bulley case, right? They're not going to come out and say our working hypothesis is that she fell in the river, because that did not go down well, and people didn't want to believe that. So they've kind of just come out and said, we are remaining open-minded to the cause of her disappearance. Now, obviously, we don't know Victoria. We don't know the circumstances of what is going on in her personal life, her relationship. We don't know any of that, and none of that has been disclosed. And they're probably learning from the Nicola Bulley case that, hey, we need to keep our lips zipped tight, because what we don't want to do is blurt out some information because of the pressure of social media. At this point, we don't need to know the innings and the outs of what's going on in Victoria's life. What we need to do is just share the information, make sure that people see her face, recognize her face. Obviously, if people are out there and they want to search, they can search. See you later, Anne. Obviously, if they want to search, then that's great, but be safe when you're doing that, because the water and the tide, and I think, has swollen, and it's not that safe around that area. So just be careful if you're out there. And all we can do this end is share the information and not pry into their lives. They've got police officers. They're going to release information via the police, and this is one of those cases where I'm going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait. We're going to have to see what unfolds here, and just keep sharing this information, because, when I go back to that documentary, I think, do you know what? I said this on my live last night on my TikTok, that, at this point, we're just kind of carrying on with our lives. Okay. We are just doing the things that we're doing. But for them, it's now dark and the search has stopped. So I can't imagine what that feels like. And I didn't think about it when I covered Nicola's case, like what it's like at this time of night when, the search is kind of wrapped up for the day. People have gone home. And they're trying to live their lives the best that they can in the circumstances that they find themselves in, which is really unfortunate. But what we can do is share that information. So they have said that they have used drones to help with the search. I believe they went over a golf course, and they are using divers with specialist sonar equipment. Their boats look really different, don't they, to the boats that we're used to seeing. But they are using specialist sonar equipment. Martin Dennison, who is the inspector, is, pointing out that this is an extremely difficult time for Victoria's family, and they are continuing to do everything that they can to try and find her. They are focusing their search around the River Derwent, but they are using a wider strategy as well while they're doing that. So they are looking elsewhere, but their focus is the River Derwent, mainly, I think, because of the belongings being there. And, it doesn't look great that the belongings are there, I'm going to be honest. There's no two ways around that situation, because so far, every person that has gone missing that we've come across where their belongings have been by the river, they've been in that river, unfortunately. Sorry, guys, I think I'm definitely starting to get the signs of something I don't want. Anyone else want it? There was something I wanted to... Now, I want to just go back over these 9 crucial factors again. So, police searching for Victoria Taylor reveal new sighting of missing mum, which we've seen. So, yeah, you can't see her image, but you can see that that's the same image as the one that we saw in the garage. Now, police have continued their hunt for Victoria, and there's no reason to suggest any third party, which we've gone through. She vanished from Malton in Yorkshire on September the 30th. It's hard to believe, isn't it, that it's now Tuesday the week after. Now, she was pictured at 11:35, like I said, and one other sighting is this image here at 11:53. So it's not a huge time difference, but it's a time difference. And that is the actual last sighting of Victoria that there was. Now, Victoria's cap and rucksack has what has been found along that river. And it's been confirmed that her phone was also found by the river. The belongings or the drinks that she bought from that shop also by the river. And they all kind of say the same thing after a while. They're remaining open-minded. They're going to pursue existing and new lines of inquiry as they get it. I'm sure there's always new lines of inquiry coming in. And they're satisfied at this current time that no information there is to suggest any form of third-party involvement. And then we know all about the high high spec gear that they're using in the river. So, I mean, at this point, this is where I'd say, look, you know, what's the harm in getting Peter Faulding and his team in? But I'm pretty sure after him dropping that sonar image collection, that that's probably going to put a lot of families off requesting him at the moment. Especially if, you know, this doesn't clear his name, because I'm not sure that it will. There's still some very mixed people, you know, saying that they don't actually see anything. I see stuff in those images, but there are people saying, well, I can't see it. But I mean, you know, some people can't even make out a baby on an ultrasound, so it's difficult, isn't it? So the police, obviously, and the family want community to be safe, but obviously they want people to help. And there is that Facebook group that I've mentioned before where they are arranging for those searches to kick off, and they usually start at that railway station. Now, she was last seen on Railway Street, which I did look at on my TikTok live last night. It's just a bit further down from where that train crossing is. Now, Victoria's fiance broke his silence as he said that they just want her to come home. He put out a picture of them both and he hopes that she comes back safely. Now, I don't think it was an interview. I think he's just kind of come out and spoken. They're all hoping she comes back, obviously. And he said that she is a care home nurse, and obviously they have their baby together, and they were due to get married. They were planning on, you know, getting married. She's well known in her community. She was dedicated to her job and her family, and they'd just come back from holiday. So I'm not sure if this is what spurred the online rumours, but I can't see how that this would, but they have started. And then her details are there. Let's come back in here just to see. Oh, look, Prince Charlie. There's some TikToks. What was the latest one? So you've got like the Sun, who call it a mysterious bag. Let's see what the Sun's got to say. Not that I ever listen to what the Sun's got to say, not gonna lie. Accept and continue. What happens if I press play? Ooh.
A mysterious bag clutched by missing mum Victoria Taylor could hold a key clue. Victoria was last seen at her home in Malton, North Yorkshire on Monday morning last week. A desperate search has been ensuing since, with new CCTV of her last sighting revealed yesterday. It shows mum of one Victoria at 11:53 a.m. on Monday, September 30th, standing at Malton bus station on Railway Street. The footage shows Victoria tightly clutching a large unidentified package. This is the last confirmed sighting of Victoria. She is thought to have gone by a children's play park before joining a muddy riverside path. Marine teams are scouring the depths of the River Derwent as the search for Victoria enters its second week.
Victoria can be seen clutching what may be a rucksack,
Peter
maybe
Bexley.
a bag of some description, very tightly to her chest. Now, this footage is just over a week old, but it's clearly something of significance to her. because it's not like somebody carrying a shopping bag normally in their hands by their sides. It's something she's clutching, almost as if you are holding a newborn baby. Although I must point out, it most definitely is not that. So whatever this is, wherever she's picked it up, wherever she's found it, or been given it, or purchased it, it means an awful lot to her. And unfortunately, we don't know the significance of that just yet. Now, in its second week, the police is.
But I could just say there as well that she might just be holding it like that because she's got a rucksack on her back. And that's how, if I had something that I was holding that was bigger than a bottle of drink and it was that size, whatever it was, I'd probably hold it like that for ease if it didn't have a handle carrier bag. Just another viewpoint there. I do like Peter Bexley though. He's very observant, and but thinking of it from sort of how I would walk with the bag, I'm not going to lie, sometimes it's easier to hold the package like that.
Still carrying out their searches of the River Derwent, and they are being very forthright in issuing warnings to the public to be very careful if they're joining some of these search parties. There's been a lot of rain, the banks of the river are slippery and wet, and they don't want a bad situation being made any worse by somebody slipping and falling into the water. I think they're looking for something more recent, because this footage being over a week old, perhaps I feel they've run up against a bit of a barrier here, and they're appealing to the public now as broadly as they are, in a view to get some updated information. And if you had seen Victoria, who's very distinctive in her blue Adidas puffer jacket with the white stripes down the side, the combat cap, and jeans, although of course she could have changed clothes in a week, I do accept that. But if you do have any knowledge of her whereabouts, and if you see her, ring 999 immediately. If you have any information relating to her or her disappearance, then please ring North Yorkshire Police on 101. So often something which people might not think is very relevant, but yet it could be. So if there was something that was concerning you about Victoria a week or more ago, if there's something that you've heard that you think might have some semblance of truth to it, if you think you saw her and you're not quite sure, please report it, because the police might always be able to back that up by looking at local CCTV, ring doorbell images and the such like, to confirm whether your thinking is actually right or just mistaken.
Yeah, I do like a bit Peter Bexley. He's quite good. But I did wonder what they were actually good. It's actually quite good now, because you've got people like Peter Bexley that are going to come out and they're talking, which is kind of what you want, really. Just because of the fact that, people, when they talk like that and they're giving new content on the news, albeit it's the Sun, but this is Peter Bexley, so he's quite, he's quite worth watching, because he is an ex-detective. But it just gives information that we can share. So what that means is that we can keep that information rolling through. It's a different piece of information that we can share with you now, because Peter Bexley has done that interview, and it's just something else that we can share. And I do like Peter. So obviously here we go. So that's that image. I mean, it could be quite a heavy item that she's holding there. To me, I mean, she didn't have that in the shop, but it's nothing to say it wasn't down by her feet. But her holding it like that doesn't necessarily mean, I don't think it necessarily means 100% that she's got an attachment to it. It could just be that it's heavier and it's easier to carry like that. I'm trying to work out if that's like a handle here on the bag, but I can't quite tell. Is it a bag? We don't know what it is. It's not very clear, is it? But she's got the rucksack on her back there. And that's how I would hold things. But I can see how, if it is something of significant importance, so why she would hold it closely. But I mean, I'm just wondering whether or not there is better CCTV and we're not seeing it for whatever reason. This is obviously the search there. That's obviously her function. This gives you an idea of that river. So I can't show you on here. Oh yeah, I can with my mouse. So here is like, that's like the train crossing, I think. It's really hard to expand on that. Let's open that up a sec. Yeah, so that goes to the rail. That looks like it's the rail crossing over there. You can see the police are here. So here you can see where it could probably be quite dangerous. If you're searching, you could probably lose your footing ever so easy. It's not a steep drop. I'm not sure how deep that river actually is. And then obviously you come here and go over there, and then you've got like houses here. That's just the media. And then this is her last movement. So as you can see, 9 a.m. Monday the 30th, it shows where she was last seen at point number 1. And then 11:35 a.m. at point number 2, which is the BP garage. Now they've added in the 11:53 on September the 30th with her seen passing Moulton's bus station. Now, if she was on the bus, guys, I would imagine there's CCTV, because these buses have these cameras on there now, same as the trains. And they play park, which joins the muddy riverside path. So it's a really weird place to put a children's play park. I'm not going to lie, I've had a look at it on the old Google Earth. Then the police find the possessions on the 2nd. And then the drones search the golf course. So it's a very big area. Obviously, you've got a lot of green. You've got a lot of green going on there. I've read in a local Yorkshire paper that it was an M&S bag. It may well be an M&S bag. Let me just have a little look. Let me go back to that page very quickly. I think it's Yorkshire. Yorkshire. You might get a Yorkshire paper come up. Hang on. Sometimes you have to scroll. Yorkshire Live. Because the shop that she went into sells drinks and stuff, but it is an M&S as well. But it doesn't say that the bottles of drink she had were in a bag. Let's go down. So far, North Yorkshire police have found 2 instances where Victoria was captured on CCTV. You take your time, mouse. In Monday's briefing, North Yorkshire Police shed light on one aspect of her movements, but have inadvertently raised further questions closer to piecing the puzzle together. Authorities confirmed that after departing the BP garage, she appeared at the bus station within 18 minutes. A quick check of Google Maps shows that it takes approximately 8 minutes to walk from the garage to the bus station. Hey, if it takes 8 minutes, you can add 10 to 12 minutes on it for me, leaving a 10-minute window yet to be explained. She might have stopped. The burning question remains why Victoria was found. Why was Victoria found at a bus stop on Monday morning? And the police don't have an answer to this, and they don't have an answer to that. During the inquest to find Victoria, the team have pored over CCTV footage, conducted interviews, inquiries with numerous individuals, scoured both land and water, and obviously other people are scouring land as well. All they're saying really now at this point is that there is no third party involvement suggested, the new time, but no other information. Now it says here the page now has more than 9,000 followers, where individuals can propose their own theories. They don't want people proposing their own theories in there because it gets out of hand, and they don't want that. And I think they're closely monitoring what they're approving. Posters are going far and wide, and they are doing everything that they can to locate her. Look at her. Yeah, it is sad to see people pointing a finger at her partner, isn't it, guys? She's seen carrying. Okay. Okay, cool. That's Yorkshire Live. Go away, Yorkshire Live. You're fired. Some of them do really good updates, and some of them don't. And sometimes you get a mixture of both. No, I don't want to subscribe. So many bloody pop-ups. Don't want to do that. Aerial footage on Tuesday the 8th. As the search enters 9th day, retraces the 34-year-old steps into the town as friends and family desperately hunt for clues. It takes in the BP garage where she was seen at around 11:35. And it takes into the town's bus station where she was captured on footage just moments later at 11:53. And that is confirmed. There you go. Yes, you are correct. So she was seen carrying a paper M&S bag, thought to be containing drinks bought at the garage, which she was clutching to her chest. So they must have been they must have been larger bottles and quite heavy. But she is believed to have walked from the bus station towards the nearby. So let me just show you where this is as well. What this looks like if you are not in the area. Like a bit of Google Earth. I'm getting better at it every day. Every day I'm getting better. Railway Street. Can I assist?
I have a buns. Right, buddy. I feel he wants to be up here and sat on the bed. Okay. Because he keeps like sitting next to me and like staring at me. And like standing up. Are you on? What?
YouTube, you can't be seen.
Come on in, Buns. I'm going to bed down if he doesn't settle. He won't settle downstairs. You got a wagging tail now.
Maybe he's freezing. That's not what normally happens. In the cupboard, in the bathroom. Let's change this. All right, fella. Sorry, my dog's just come up. It's like I'm going to do this more often. Okay. Yeah, we will. So that's Railway Street, or we're going to spin out for a minute. So there's that Riverside Playground. Don't know if it's going to let me walk down here. It might. So round here, as you can see, right, so sorry about that, guys. The dog decided that he wanted to come and join me. So, as you can see, right by this part here, there's that playground, which is right near the river, by the way. And then you've got houses. Let's walk around. Let's see where we go. It's quite a busy area. It's quite, there's lots of people that walk up and around. It looks quite industrial around here. So is that like, that must be the, is that the bus station? Yes, the bus station. So there's the bus station she was seeing there. So there's going to be CCTV cameras. And this is obviously Railway Street. Obviously that's the way out for the buses. There's Asda. And it just is always quite busy. But obviously I'm not sure, 100% sure we're on Norton Road now. It's not where we need to be. Back to the railway. So we're back to Railway Street. I don't think it's going to let me go down that way. That's what the other angle looks like, guys. And then obviously this is where those houses are. And that park. It's a really strange place to put a park where there's children. I'm not going to lie. I think there's a bit of an oddity. But that's the park. And you've obviously got the wall there. You can see across there. It's quite well built up. And this across there, that looks abandoned. So I'm assuming that's going to have been looked at because the volunteers are all over the place looking around. The volunteering has been incredible from what I can see. There's been so many people wanting to help. Let's just come out and so yeah, Every time we do that, well, no, we don't want to do that. So when you look at this in relation to where they have been looking already, let me just make that a little bit smaller. Just trying to find that other section. There's such a lot of housing going on there. It's really weird when you look up. Let me just zoom out a sec. Okay, so you've got Railway Street up here. I feel like this is the wrong way round, to be honest, because on my iPad it faces differently. But so you've got the Railway Street here, which is where she was last seen. But here is where they've concentrated their search. This is that funny bit in the river. And then this is the bridge that crosses over to that railway crossing. So they've been up and around here. But I know there's a guy in the Facebook group who's been all over like the private land as much as he can. But actually, when you click on this river, and you actually zoom into the road, it gives you a better perspective of how big just this section here is. Because when you look at it from above, it looks like it should be really quite small. But when you compare it to the size of the road, it's actually quite a big area. So that's your area zone on this map. But as you can see, a lot of it is, you know, mostly built up. Obviously, you've got ponds here. There's another pond that I've seen when I've been scooting around here, or a lake. It's not a lake, is it? But it's big enough to be bigger than a pond. And it looks like it's all wet. So is this wet and boggy? Is this just a deep puddle? Like when I say deep puddle, like deep puddle, or is this like an actual natural pond type thing? But that's the location, then that's the zone. And it would take me more than 8 minutes to get from where she got to the other place. So, you know, timing's all, and you don't know what's on, you know what's going on in her mind and what she's thinking as she's manoeuvring along. So it's a hard one. It is a hard one, but that is the Railway Street. That's the area. That's the play area. So we just now wait until we get more updates. And as we get more updates, of course, I will give them to you. But I just wanted to bring you yesterday's updates. I did obviously share those on my main TikTok because that's where most of my followers are. But I wanted to come over here and just make sure everyone had that over here as well. If you're not in the Facebook group, do join the Facebook group. You'll get some good information. It's being run by people that are kind of part of the search and organising and meeting up with people. I know they looked after one of my moderators over there when he came, and you know, that's a good place where you're going to get sensible information. They're trying to keep it as sensible as they can and stop all the trolling. But I mean, in these cases, you're not going to stop trolling and you're not going to stop nasty people. But for sure, do, come along into that group if you want to, especially if you can help. If you've got something that you can do, if you live nearby and you want to help, that's the place to get the information, where to meet and stuff. But other than that, for now, that's all I've got. But like I say, as I get that information, of course, I am going to share that with you. So just bear with me as I get the information each day. But I will be back when I get that information. Obviously, we know the trial with Sarah Boone's been delayed because of this pending hurricane. But I will be back very soon. So you guys take care, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Bye for now. Bye.